Hello once again, everybody. It's Chris Besnoy with IceCan.com. Today I'm going to answer a question I received many times over my past 10 years' experience in the cannabis industry, and that is quite simply, do you need consultants for your cannabis venture? I can tell you with 100% certainty, you absolutely do not need consultants. I know what you may be thinking, Chris, aren't you a consultant? Yes, I am. But I'm telling you with honesty, you don't need to hire someone like myself. You don't need consultants for your venture. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe when a consultant says you must hire us, or if a consultant says the government requires a consultancy be on file. That is absolutely untrue. In any country I've ever worked in, no government's ever stipulated you must have a consultant. They may suggest it, they may recommend it in certain situations, but they never come right out and say you must have one on file. So the answer is no. You could have the team that you need already in place. Perhaps your QA specialist has written tons of SOPs and knows exactly what they're talking about. Perhaps you, the business owner, is an engineer and you've designed many cannabis production facilities in your time. Perhaps your head of security is an ex-police officer. Maybe they know a lot more about security than you think they do. However, no matter which way you look at it, you absolutely do not need to have consultants. But there are times when you should. As an example, I always tell my clients whenever they ask me, Chris, do I need a consultant? I say, no, you don't. However, how much money can you make in a month? And usually they say, well, Chris, you know what? I can make maybe $1 or $2 million of sales a month. And they're very proud about that. And of course, why wouldn't you be proud of that? You can make $2 million a month in sales. That is awesome. And I say to them, okay, so let's say, for instance, you don't hire a consultant and you try it on your own and it takes you an extra 3 months to get licensed. That may not seem like a big deal. However, if you're saying to me you can make $2 million a month, well, technically speaking, if you have to wait 3 months longer than you should to get a license, didn't you just lose $6 million? So if you hire a consultant for $100,000 and they are very well known in the industry and they know what they're talking about, and they get you a license post-haste, without undue delay, is that not a win-win situation? The consultant gets work, the consultant tells you all the tricks of the trades, the ins and outs, helps save you from potential problems, and gets you licensed faster, and you get to make money faster. So a lot of people, when they try it on their own, they don't quite realize, are you willing to run the risk of not having a license post-haste and potentially have to wait 3 months or 4 months, or maybe have a lot of questions back from the government saying, I don't understand this, and this wasn't presented very well. If you're willing to lose $2, $4, $6, $8, maybe even $10 million because you don't want to hire a consultant for $100,000, you may want to rethink the math, because sometimes a consultant is the smartest way to go. Not saying that all consultants are created equal. Some are not very good. Some will hype up exactly what they've done in the industry. As an example, there's often times where people have come to me and said, you know what, Chris, I know what I'm doing with security systems. I've consulted on many government properties. And you kind of sit there and go, okay, you've consulted on government properties. That is awesome. Did any of them have anything to do with cannabis? And usually the answer is no. Let's face it, you can't really apply your knowledge of how to design a penitentiary or a prison and apply that to a cannabis production facility. So don't believe the hype. There's a lot of consultants out there that will steer you wrong, tell you they've done everything that they need to do anywhere in the world, but the answer is that's not really true. Also, don't believe the hype. Don't let people tell you need consultants. You absolutely do not. But you may want a consultant. We know where to tap. We know the ins and outs. We have our pulse on the industry. We know what the governments are looking for. We know the pitfalls, the things to watch out for. We also want to save you money. We want to make sure you're licensed faster so you're not losing any money. Again, consultants needed? Absolutely not. You don't need any of us. Should you hire a consultant? I'm sure there's a time where you may need to. I'm sure there's a gap right now in your team that requires somebody like myself or other consultants to help you out to get a license. There's your answer, folks. Consultants? Nah. Should you? I think so. We'll see you soon.